Have you ever felt that gnawing emptiness in your chest when the world feels silent and everyone else seems to have someone by their side? That is loneliness, but I'm here to tell you this. Loneliness is not weakness. It is your fiercest teacher. It tests you. It pushes you. It makes you confront the parts of yourself you've been too afraid to face. And yet, in that silence, there is a choice. Either you crawl back to what broke you, seeking comfort in familiar pain, or you rise stronger, unshakable, and unstoppable. Pain is temporary. Strength is eternal. The past may haunt you. The memories may try to pull you into the darkness. But every time you resist, you declare that you are not defined by your scars. You are defined by your will to conquer them. Loneliness is your proving ground. It is where you decide whether you are a victim or a warrior. So, when the nights are long and the silence deafening, remember this. You are building a fortress within yourself, a self that nothing can break. Stand tall, hold your head high, and refuse to let your heart return to the ashes of yesterday. Your destiny is forged in resilience. Have you ever felt that crushing emptiness inside, the kind that seeps into your bones and makes you question everything you thought you knew about yourself? That emptiness is called loneliness. And I am here to tell you something crucial. Loneliness is not your enemy. It is the test that separates those who crumble from those who rise. The silent hammer shaping you into a version of yourself you've never dared to imagine. Every time you feel the weight of being alone, every time the walls seem to close in and your heart aches for something familiar, you face a choice. You can sink back into what broke you, back into the habits, people, or places that left scars you promised yourself you'd never return to. Or you can stand, look that void straight in the eye, and declare that you will not let your history dictate your future. Understand this, Lon. Elliness is the battlefield where true strength is forged. Those quiet nights where your mind races and your soul trembles are not wasted moments. They are the arena where you learn to fight for yourself, to demand more from life, to understand that your worth does not depend on someone else's presence. When the world feels silent, when everyone else seems to have someone to lean on, and you feel the urge to crawl back into the familiar pain, remember that pain is temporary. But what you build inside yourself lasts forever. Every time you resist that pull, every time you refuse to return to what shattered you, you are proving to yourself that you are unbreakable. Loneliness exposes your weaknesses, yes, but it also reveals your power. It shows you the raw edges of your character, the parts of yourself that are untested, unshaped, waiting to rise into greatness. This is the moment where heroes are made. Not in the comfort of companionship, not in the arms of those who once betrayed or disappointed you, but in the silence, in the struggle, in the choice to stand alone and keep moving forward. There will be nights when the ache in your chest feels unbearable, when every memory of past hurt calls you back, whispering that it's easier to surrender. But surrender is a luxury for those unwilling to fight for their own lives. You were not born to be small, to shrink when the world is empty and cold. You were born to conquer, to turn every moment of solitude into fuel, every pang of loneliness into fire, every temptation to return to what broke you into a declaration of war against weakness. Let the loneliness remind you who you are, not what you've lost. Let it sharpen your focus, strengthen your mind, and ignite your spirit. Do not mistake the quiet for defeat. Do not confuse absence for emptiness. In those moments, when you feel the tug of old wounds, of old patterns, you are standing on the precipice of transformation. To give in is to betray yourself. To resist is to climb. Stem your destiny. Every scar you carry, every memory that haunts you is a testament not to failure, but to survival. And survival is not enough. You are made to thrive, to rise above, to become untouchable in your power. So when the world is silent, when the nights are long and the shadows of the past reach for you, do not flinch. Do not retreat. Do not allow the comfort of the familiar to fool you into thinking it is home. Home is not a place. It is a state of mind, a fortress within yourself that cannot be breached by pain, by betrayal, or by loneliness. Stand tall. Hold your head high. Let the ache inside you be your guide, not your chain. The test of loneliness is not a trap. It is your invitation to greatness. Your opportunity to rise stronger, smarter, and unshakable. The choice is yours. Crumble in the echo of your solitude or rise in the fire of your own will. And I promise you this, Every time you choose the latter, every time you refuse to return to what broke you, you become unstoppable. You become the proof that resilience is forged in silence, that strength is born in struggle, and that greatness is claimed by those who refuse to be defeated, even when they stand alone. Loneliness is your test, your teacher, your forge. Do not fear it. Do not flee from it. Embrace it, fight through it, and let it shape you into someone no one can ever break again. Do not seek comfort in what once hurt you. Think about that for a moment. How easy it is to fall back into the familiar, even when the familiar has left you broken, even when it has taught you lessons in pain that you swore you would never forget. The heart has a cruel way of tempting us, whispering that going back is easier than moving forward, that returning to what shattered us is a shortcut to feeling whole again. But let me tell you something. Nothing that hurt you once has the power to heal you. Comfort does not live in the shadows of your past. It lives in the strength you build when you refuse to surrender to it. Every time you allow yourself to return to what broke you, you are telling yourself that your pain is more powerful than your will, that your past has the right to dictate your present and your future. And that, my friend, is a lie. Growth does not come from reliving the moments that wounded you. Growth comes from walking away, from staring into the void of uncertainty and choosing to trust yourself, your resilience, your capacity to rise stronger than ever. Pain has a way of disguising itself as comfort, and loneliness will try to lure you back to old habits, toxic people, failed relationships, and destructive patterns. But you must be vigilant. You must remember that the same hands that once broke you do not suddenly become safe. The same words that once cut, you do not suddenly heal. And the same environments that once crushed your spirit will not suddenly nurture it. Your task is to build a fortress within yourself so strong that no memory, no temptation, no fleeting set, NSE of familiarity can breach it. Every day you resist the pull back to the things that hurt you, you declare war on weakness. Every time you choose to stand in discomfort rather than run to the comfort of pain, you reinforce the truth that you are stronger than your past. This is not easy. It will test you in ways that feel unbearable. Your mind will replay the past like a relentless film, and your heart will ache for the familiarity of what once existed, even if it destroyed you. But that ache is not a weakness. It is a sign that you are alive, a signal that you are on the edge of transformation. To seek comfort in what hurt you is to deny yourself the chance to be extraordinary. You are not meant to be a prisoner of your history, chained to the mistakes, the betrayals, the heartbreaks that have marked your life. You were made to rise above them, to become untouchable, to forge a version of yourself that is unshakable, no matter what storms life throws at you. Every step forward, ever. Your refusal to go back is a declaration, I am not my past. I am stronger than my pain. I am the architect of my future. And this future is built not on the ruins of yesterday, but on the power you summon from your own heart and mind. Remember, the comfort you seek in old wounds is fleeting. It is a mirage that promises solace, but delivers despair. True comfort comes from mastery over yourself, from the courage to walk away when every instinct tells you to return. True comfort is in the realization that your value, your power, your happiness cannot be found in what hurts you. They can only be found in what you create from the strength of refusing to let that hurt define you. So when the urge comes, when the temptation whispers that it will be easier to return to the brokenness you know than to face the uncertainty of growth, fight it. Fight it with everything you have. Stand tall, hold your head high, and walk forward even if the path is hard, even if your heart trembles, because the moment you choose growth over old pain, the moment you reject the illusion of comfort in what hurt you, you reclaim your life, your power, and your destiny. And one day, when you look back, you will see that the path you refused to take, the path of returning to what broke you, was the very thing that would have kept you small, weak, and trapped. You were meant for more, and the proof is in every step you take away from the past. Every time you choose yourself over familiar pain, every moment you rise stronger than before. That is where true comfort lives. In the courage to move forward, in the power to heal yourself, and in the unwavering belief that nothing that broke you can ever touch you again. Pain is temporary, but strength is permanent. Remember that when the world feels like it is collapsing around you, when every step forward feels like wading through fire, and when every breath reminds you of the wounds you thought you had healed but are still raw beneath the surface. Pain is unavoidable. It is the shadow that comes with growth, the companion to ambition, the test that life uses to separate the weak from the unbreakable. But here is the truth that too few people truly understand. Pain is fleeting. It has a beginning, it has a peak, and it has an end. It is a storm, and storms always pass. What remains after the storm, however, is not the suffering that once gripped you. It is the strength you forged while enduring it. Every scar, every bruise, every sleepless night spent questioning whether you could survive is a brick in the fortress of your character. That fortress is permanent. Pain will try to convince you that it will never end, that it is bigger than you, stronger than your will, more relentless than your resolve. But it is a liar. Pain does not last, and those who understand this wield it as a tool, not a weapon against themselves. You see, strength is not given. It is earned in the crucible of hardship. Every time life throws you down, every time your RT shatters and your mind screams for reprieve, every time the temptation to quit or to return to the easy, familiar pain arises, you have a choice. Surrender and let the storm define you, or rise and let the storm refine you. Pain is temporary, but the lessons, the courage, the resilience you build while walking through it, those are forever. And strength, once forged, cannot be taken from you. You can lose comfort, you can lose stability, you can lose people and opportunities, but you can never lose the fortitude you create by confronting pain head on. Every failure, every heartbreak, every setback is an opportunity to sharpen yourself, to test the limits of your endurance, and to prove to yourself that you are made of something unbreakable. The world will not stop testing you, and pain will not stop coming. That is life's nature. It is relentless, unpredictable, and unforgiving. But your response to it, the strength you summon in those moments, is permanent. Think of the times you've been knocked down before. You remember the fear, the desperation, the loneliness. But what stays with you is the fact that you rose. That is the moment you became stronger than the pain. That is the proof that suffering is temporary and that your strength is enduring. Strength is not just the ability to survive. It is the ability to thrive, to move forward when everything inside you screams to stop, to keep building when the world has taken everything else from you. It is the armor that no failure can penetrate, the fire that no disappointment can extinguish, the voice inside that says, I will rise again, even when your body wants to give in. Pain will visit you. Pain will try to break you. Pain will feel endless, unforgiving, absolute. But know this, it is temporary. It is the hammer, the test, the teacher. And once it passes, you will stand taller, fiercer, and more unshakable than you were before. Strength is the permanent mark of those who refuse to bow to suffering, who transform adversity into opportunity, and who recognize that every wound, every scar, every moment of agony is a stepping stone toward mastery over themselves and their destiny. So the next time you feel crushed by the weight of life, when despair threatens to take root, when the temptation to quit whispers in your ear, remind yourself pain is temporary, but strength is permanent. Endure, persist, fight, build yourself in the fire. And when the storm clears, you will be standing not just as a survivor, but as a warrior forged in resilience, untouchable in power, and unstoppable in purpose. Every trial is temporary. Every hardship passes. And every time you rise from it, the strength you gain is yours forever. Your scars do not define you. Your will does. Every mark etched on your body, every wound hidden in your mind, every memory that haunts your nights, every mistake that weighs on your conscience. These are not the chains that should hold you down. They are not the labels that determine who you are. They are evidence that you have faced life head on, that you have endured battles, and that you have survived when survival seemed impossible. But surviving alone is not enough. It is what you do after the pain, after the loss, after the heartbreak that truly defines your essence. You are not the sum of the damage inflicted on you. You are the sum of the choices you make in spite of it. You are the decisions to rise when the world tries to keep you down, the determination to move forward when every instinct tells you to stay buried in your past. Scars are reminders of battles fought, but willpower is the fire that forges the warrior. Your past may whisper that you are broken, that you are weak, that the pain you carry is too heavy, but listen closely. The voice of your will is louder, fiercer, and unstoppable. Every time you make a choice to stand, to act, to fight for your life, your purpose, your destiny, you prove that scars are nothing more than milestones and not the death. definition of who you are. The world will try to tell you that you are limited, that your history dictates your future, that the wounds you carry are permanent boundaries. But that is a lie. The will is infinite. It does not bend. It does not break. It does not care about the past. Your will is the force that can transform pain into purpose, despair into determination, failure into fuel. That is why the strongest people in history are never defined by what hurt them. They are defined by how relentlessly they refuse to let that hurt control them. You can feel the scars, you can remember the hurt, but you do not have to live in the shadow of them. Every day you wake up, every moment you choose to push forward, every challenge you face with courage and resolve, you prove that your spirit is stronger than your wounds, and strength built from will is permanent. Pain fades, betrayal diminishes, and suffering passes, but the ironclad determination inside you remains. It is yours, indestructible, untouchable. Your scars may be visible or invisible. Some will fade with time. Some will remain as constant reminders. But whether they vanish or linger, they hold no power over the person who refuses to surrender to them. That power lies in your hands, in your mind, in the unyielding force of your will to rise, to grow, to conquer. Every scar is a story, every memory a lesson, but they do not dictate your destiny. Your choices, your effort, your refusal to be broken, these are what define you. So when the past tries to pull you back, when the echoes of old wounds tempt you to settle, to stop, to return to what hurt you, remember this: your scars are simply proof that you have fought, but your will is proof that you are unstoppable. Stand tall, keep moving, and let every hardship, every failure, every moment of pain become fuel for the fire within you. The world may measure people by their pain, but you measure yourself by your resilience. The scars will always be there, but they are only reminders, not definitions. Your will is what shapes your future, determines your path, and makes you truly unbreakable. Never let anyone, including yourself, tell you that what hurt you defines you, because the truth is far more powerful. What defines you is your refusal to be defeated, your determination to rise, and the relentless fire of your will that no scar can ever extinguish. That fire is eternal, and that fire is who you are. True growth comes when you resist old patterns and rise stronger. Every human being has a past. Every mind has habits. Every soul carries echoes of what it once knew. Some of those patterns are comforting. They feel safe, familiar, predictable, but that is precisely what makes them dangerous. Old patterns are chains disguised as comfort, routines that promise security but deliver stagnation, cycles that keep you tethered to the person you used to be rather than the person you are meant to become. Growth does not come from repeating what is easy. It comes from breaking free, from standing up even when your instincts whisper to retreat, from pushing forward when every fiber of your being begs you to stay small, stay silent, stay stuck. It is in resisting the familiar temptations, the people who pulled you down, the habits that numbed your ambition, the toxic environments that made you feel safe but drained your spirit, that you discover what you are truly capable of. The moment you recognize that returning to old ways is a trap, that seeking comfort in past patterns is surrender disguised as ease, is the moment you step into the arena of transformation. Growth is not passive. It is aggressive, demanding, relentless. It requires courage, for the old patterns are seductive, and they know exactly how to lure you back, whispering lies that make your past pain feel preferable to the discomfort of change. But you are not defined by what once held you captive. You are defined by the decision to rise above it, to refuse it, to build something. Stronger within yourself. Every time you resist the pull of your old patterns, every time you choose discomfort over complacency, struggle over ease, and action over inertia, you forge strength that is permanent. Growth is the cumulative result of these battles fought in silence, in moments when no one is watching, when no one applauds, when only your resolve stands between you and regression. And make no mistake, resisting old patterns is not simple. It will test your patience, your discipline, your willpower, and even your self-belief. Your mind will try to rationalize, your heart will try to deceive, and your body will resist. But that resistance is proof that you are on the right path. Because true growth is never comfortable. It is always earned through struggle, persistence, and the refusal to surrender to the familiar. When you rise stronger after resisting what once held you back, you prove to yourself that you are more than your past. You prove that your future is yours to see. That your destiny is forged by your choices, not your history. And with every step away from old patterns, your confidence grows, your clarity sharpens, and your power expands. You begin to understand that the chains of yesterday cannot bind you unless you allow them to, that every lesson learned from struggle becomes armor, and that the strength built through resisting the old is the foundation of an unstoppable life. Life will continue to test you, to tempt you back into habits that once defined you, to challenge the strength you are creating. And every time you rise above those temptations, you grow exponentially. True growth is measured not by comfort, but by courage, not by ease, but by endurance, and not by familiarity, but by the willingness to confront the unknown, to risk the discomfort, and to choose the path that strengthens rather than diminishes you. So refuse to return to old patterns. Refuse to be lured